Hey everyone, this is Sarah with the Keto Craze, and I'm coming at you this evening to talk about the 5 reasons why people quit the keto diet. So the number one reason we have here is electrolyte imbalance. When you start the keto diet, you are going to be flushing out a lot of water. And with that, all of your electrolytes will be flushed out as well. These are things like potassium, sodium, and magnesium. So you want to make sure that you are taking some type of electrolyte supplement, definitely in the beginning as you become adapted to this type of diet. I would recommend going on Amazon. There is a tablet called Light, which is an electrolyte supplement, and it comes in a 2-tablet per little pack box of several. I think it's about 100 for $7. You can take those. I take or use Powerade Zero as my form of electrolyte supplement. I just like the flavors. It has potassium and sodium in it, and it's a great way to get in those added electrolytes. People were telling me that they are just mixing salt and water and chugging that when they feel bad, and it seems to help. Definitely adding more salt to your foods is a great way. That pink Himalayan sea salt is excellent for you. So that is another thing that you could add to your food. And then with potassium, a great way to add that in is avocados, which are also, they have a lot of fiber and they have a lot of fat. So they are a great way to help with your potassium levels and help replenish those electrolytes. So basically what happens when you start this type of a diet is that your cells start becoming starved of sugar, so they burst open, and that is what causes you to release all of that water after about a week or so as your fat cells start to flatten. So a lot of the symptoms that people will have, the feelings of the brain fog, the headaches, are all due to electrolyte imbalance. So you really, really want to make sure that you are replacing those electrolytes as you start on your ketogenic journey. Number 2 we have here is not eating enough fat. So your percentage on your macros of your fat should be between 70 and 80% of your macros. That should all come from fat. And people ask me all the time, how do I get my fat grams up to that level? Mostly I recommend cooking in olive oil, cooking in coconut oil, adding some unsalted butter to your roasted veggies. That is a great way to add some additional fat. There are so many recipes out there, even on Pinterest, for fat bombs, which are a great way to up the fats. They're also really delicious, so you want to really pay attention to how many calories and grams of fat are in those, because you could easily just eat 2 or 3 and not even realize what you're doing. So that is another great way. You also want to choose higher fat cuts of meat. I know a lot of us came from a moderate carb, high protein diet, and we're used to low fat meats, things like ground turkey, ground chicken. But in this type of diet, you really want to be getting enough fat from your meat. So you can pick out that steak that has the nice fat marbling in it. You can eat the 80-20 ground beef when you have your burger. So make sure you are getting in enough fat, because your body is running on the fat for fuel. So if you decide to do a low carb diet and you also do a low fat diet, you will have 0 energy. So it is very, very important to get your fats up, because you will definitely feel better. You'll feel that energy boost as you do that. So number 3 is eating too much protein. I know for me this was a biggie, because I've come from doing the paleo diet for several years, where I really didn't track what I was eating. I just made sure I ate, organic. I ate a lot of meat. I would also drink a protein shake after every workout I did. And this has been a total change for me, because my protein grams have to be around 80, whereas like before I was probably eating like 120. So you really need to be careful with that, because what happens is as you eat all of that protein, your insulin level spikes and your body is going to store it as glucose, which basically is sugar. So it's going to have the same effect as it does when you eat carbs, because all that excess your body doesn't need, so it just gets stored. So you definitely want to make sure that this is a moderate protein amount. So you need to stick to about 20 to 25% of your daily calories coming from protein. Some of the best ways to go about this would be thinking of doing one of your meals as a meatless meal. I know for me on the keto diet, I also do intermittent fasting, so I'm not really eating breakfast. And then a way that I will do a meatless meal usually is just make a big salad, and I do like olives, avocado, crumbled bacon, cheese, and full fat dressing, and in total, you know, this salad probably has about 15 grams of protein. So with all the combination of all the other goodness that's on the salad, I don't feel like I need to add the meat as well. And then for dinner, I will add the meat in. There are some really great meatless meals out there. Like last night, for example, my husband and I made a cauliflower macaroni and cheese recipe. Obviously, there was no macaroni in that, but it was a delicious, cheesy, buttery casserole, minimal amounts of protein. So you can definitely look on Pinterest and find a lot of good meatless meals. But one way to really do that would be to do a meatless meal, or if you are a person that works out, you may try to skip your protein shake, or you may have the protein shake and then go meatless on several of your meals throughout the day. So that is definitely an important factor, is eating too much protein. So you don't want to do that. The fourth reason is not giving your body enough time. This is a huge transition for your body, because from day one, when you were born, you have been fueling your body with glucose. And your brain especially, your brain uses all that glucose to function. So as you're transitioning, especially within the first week, you're going to feel tired, you're going to feel groggy, you may get a headache. If you're a person that works out regularly, you might feel, you know, like your workouts, you're not able to lift weights as heavily, you're not running as fast. All of those things have to do with the transition on your body. But please, please stick with it, because the benefits when you come out on the other side, you know, after at least 10 days in, you're going to feel like a new person. You're going to feel like a rock star without all of that added glucose running around in your body. Again, here is when you need to supplement with those electrolytes so you feel better. And also, most importantly, exogenous ketones will help you get through this stage by just making you feel better, giving you that extra boost of energy, making you feel more alert. I know myself, been drinking them for about 2 months now, and I feel incredible, and they've really helped get me through that transition period. So lastly, we get to number 5, which is hidden carbs. So carbs are huge in the keto diet. You want to make sure you're keeping your carbs to 5 to 10% of your daily calorie amount. I try to keep mine low at about 5% because that's what I've adjusted my body to. So that means that my net carb value is less than 20. So you really need to make sure you're tracking your food. I like to use an app called Carb Manager. I have a YouTube video about that you might want to check out about how to use it. But that way you can really see where your carb values are at. There are hidden carbs in everything. People don't think that vegetables have carbs, but they do. Especially, you know, your veggies that are more fibrous, things like broccoli, cauliflower, green beans. These things can have up to like 8 or 9 grams of carbs in 1 cup. So that's almost half your amount for the day. So you really, really want to pay attention. I know, for example, I cooked a spaghetti squash the other day, and then I went to go track my macros, and just 1 cup of spaghetti squash had 8 grams of carbs. And I was like, huh? So anyways, you really need to pay attention to that. You really need to make sure you read your nutrition labels and focus on the net carb. So a net carb is going to be the total minus the dietary fiber, and that is what keto tracks. So if you really, really want to do this, just make sure you pay attention to these 5 things, and then make sure you download the app called Carb Manager, and it will save your life in this diet. Totally make sure you get your electrolytes in. Please ask me if you have any questions about exogenous ketones, what that means, what those are. But I just wanted to show you guys these 5 things, these 5 tips to help you get through it, because I want you guys to all feel as good as I do. All right, you guys, thank you.